Okay, so welcome to uh, installment two for the Game of Life Personal Finance Edition. Um, my tutorial here is going to go through lifestyle decisions. Today, you get to decide your future house, future transportation, and then you're going to buy stuff to furnish your house. The first thing that I want you guys to do is decide if you're going to rent or buy. Um, and there's two different websites for each, and you just write down rent here or buy here. Let's say you decide to rent. You would go to this website right here, and what I'd like you guys to do is type in the city that you plan on living in. You can decide what you think your budget should be. So it can apply a filter so that you're not getting super expensive or whatever, super cheap places, I suppose. Um, and then you can also decide how many bed and bath you want. Once you guys have done that, uh, you can go ahead and see what it got. So there's a lot of hits over here, and you just have to kind of decide which one you think meets your needs the best. If you want more information on it, of course, you can just click on it to see if it is everything that you hoped and dreamed that it would be. And basically from there, you just have to take the number that it's charging for rent and put it here. If you decide you're going to buy a place, you go to a different website. Um, you can go ahead and search here. And then what it will do is it will take you to a website that has general houses and stuff. You can change the filter by adjusting the price, how many beds and bath you want. Um, and then you kind of just look around until you find something that meets the heart's desire. And once you found a house that you think looks good, of course, I would encourage you to look more into it. Look at some pics, make sure it is everything that you dreamed, and you would obviously do much more research than this if you were actually buying a house. But what I'm mainly concerned with for this project is just that you know how much it cost. So let's say that this is the one that you decide you like. This is the price of the whole place, but check this out. On this website, if you go all the way down here to the payment calculator, it's going to show you how much a month you would pay if some normal things applied, such as that you paid a 20% down payment. It's going to give you today's interest rate. The most common type of mortgage loan is a 30-year fixed. Um, there's other types of mortgages out there. You can extend or you can reduce the amount of time that you want to get a mortgage, but I would not ever change it from getting fixed. You don't want a variable rate mortgage. So the two things I would ask you to take back in terms of information would be this number, the monthly payment, and this number, the down payment. And you would put those right here. And then I would like you guys to either link to the apartment that you're renting or the house that you're buying right here. When it comes to the the car, again, you get to choose new or used. You write it down here. Two different websites for each, right? And again, if you're going to have a spouse, you're going to need two ways to get around, not just one. And then let's check out if you want to get a new car. How do you navigate this website? Okay, so this is the new car website. My recommendation is to go scroll down. You can browse cars by kind of what you see yourself in the future. And then it's going to give you some options and how much they cost. So here are some of the most popular trucks out there as well as their associated average price. From here, you can click on more information about that specific truck. The number that I'm going to ask you to bring back to the game of life is the average cost that you can see for each vehicle. So if I were to go with the Tundra, I'd take 31,000 back to the personal finance game of life. I would then use this auto loan calculator to figure out how much I'd have to pay for it. You have to assume that the loan is going to be for 5 years. The average interest rate for right now I found was 4%, and then that was the total cost of the vehicle I just found. So let me show you what. So when I put in all those figures, the total cost of the vehicle, this is 5 years, 4% interest rate. It said that my monthly payment would be $571. That's what I would put right here, and then I would do the same thing for the spouse. For cost of gas, I've just found the average. This again was something that it's going to vary widely for people, but the average amount that people pay for gas a year was something like $1,400. So I just took that and made it about $110 per month per driver. Sometimes in the past when I've done this project, some students said, I don't plan on driving. I'm going to live in the city and I'm going to get around on a bus. Or one last time, someone last year said they were going to live in New York Harbor on a boat and Uber around. Um, there obviously are ways of getting around that don't involve driving and stuff, but I do want you to have the idea that all those things come with associated cost. So you need to let me know, and we need to find some links so that you can actually get accurate cost of how much it's going to get for you to get around, because just walking everywhere is not a feasible plan. Just like with a house, I want you to put a picture of the car or the cars that you decided you were going to get. All right, the final thing, awesome gear. So you can't just have an empty house. You have to have things in it. You also have to have clothes to wear, all those things, right? I'm not asking that you go ahead and do everything, but I am asking that you create a list of 5 to 10 must-haves. Think like TV, computers, furniture, etc. You're just going to use Amazon because it's pretty user-friendly. You'll type in the thing that you think you want, and you'll put it in here. You'll find the price for it, and you'll write the thing that you want here as well as the price. When it comes to figuring out how to pay for it, this is where I want you to use a credit card. So I want you to use the credit card payment calculator. 16% is the interest rate that I found was pretty average. So what you'll do when you get here, fairly simple, you'll add up all the things that you bought, and that will be your balance. 16% goes here. The payment per month is going to be, that's what you decide. Or you can go another way and you can just say, how long do I want to take to pay this off? It can use either bits of those information to calculate. What I want you to do though, is I want to know those two things. I want to know how much you plan on paying and how many months it's going to take. And then how much interest would that be? I've given you a whole little algorithm down here. Not really, that's a way too fancy way of saying it. But here's basically a way of figuring out interest. You have to figure out how much you actually pay, how much the goods were, right? You have to, wait, let me start that again. You have to decide, darn it, sorry, that was sloppy. To find out the total interest paid, I want you to know how many, the total price of your goods, which you should have already found here. You then want to know how much you paid in terms of the credit card. And it's the total paid versus the original cost of your gear equals that must have been interest that you paid. Sorry, that was a rough ending to this tutorial, but overall, I think you guys get it. From the house to outfitting your house. This should be the funnest part because you kind of, this is where you get to shop for some of those big ticket items. But let me know in class if you need any more assistance. Keep on trucking.